Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I had a request for information about my freeze dryer, how it works, what you do with it, all that kind of stuff. So I just got a batch of food ready to go in the freeze dryer. We've got tomatoes sliced in half. These are more tomatoes. This has okra and green beans on it. And both of these have some pie squash or scallop squash laid out on them. So the way I do this is I just fill the trays. Like with tomatoes, you put the skin side down so they will dry better, and fill it till it's full. And then green beans, I snip the beans, break them into bite-sized pieces, and layer them on the tray. The okra I put in slices. And then the squash, I just wash it and slice it and layer it on there. Not straight on top of one another, but if it sits on top of each other, it's alright. So just layer it on there till the tray is full, and then load them in. So this is a large size Harvest Right freeze dryer. It has 5 slots for trays in it. This is the front door. The old freeze dryers used to come with a pillow in the front. They found that that was not necessary. It didn't help the freeze dry time at all, so they got rid of those, so we don't use ours anymore. This is the handle for the door. After you have everything loaded, you can pre-freeze things, or you can put them in warm. I just put mine in warm. I don't hardly ever pre-freeze anything because I don't have room in my freezers. So things just go in there warm, and the machine will freeze them for you. So this is super simple to use. You basically follow the instructions on the screen. So it's telling me it's time to change my vacuum oil pump, or pump oil, my vacuum pump oil. Our vacuum pump is right back there, so you can see it down there. It is an oil-free pump, so it doesn't need to have the oil changed. So all you do is you push start, and then it says pre-frozen, not frozen. My items are not frozen. And then it will tell you load the food into the freeze dryer and close the drain valve. So let me show you the drain valve. It is on this side of the freeze dryer. This right here is the drain valve, and you turn it until it's closed like that. This is the drain tube. When the machine thaws, it drains down into this bucket that I have here with the sock hanging on it. And then we just empty the bucket out. So once I have my drain valve closed, I'm going to push continue, and the machine will start freezing. So this machine is set to freeze to -5 degrees Fahrenheit. It will freeze all the way down to that till everything's frozen solid. And then it very slowly starts heating back up, and as the food in the freeze dryer thaws, it creates a vacuum with the pump, and it will suck out the moisture from the food. And then the moisture will build around the sides here as ice. And then when it's finished, we pull that out, let the machine defrost. Usually I'm too impatient, so I'll just pull the chunks of ice out and throw them in the bucket and let them thaw out. But it's really actually very simple to do. It pretty much tells you exactly what to do and how to do it, and you don't really have to do a whole lot besides that. There is an option on the menu screen before you start it to set an additional dry time. We have ours set to 12 hours. Because almost always I am not here or ready to take the food out of the freeze dryer whenever the first dry time is done. So that just keeps the food from sucking back any moisture. It will continue to dry it and have the vacuum created in there so that it's not collecting moisture, and then I would have to restart the machine and have it re-dry everything. So once the machine is finished drying, I will open the valve back up on the side there that I had to close, the drain valve. That will release the vacuum pressure. the door will come open, and then you can take the items out and package them up. The packaging that we use are called Mylar bags, or sometimes I just use a Ziploc bag if it's something we're gonna eat right away. Or I've also put things into like a canning jar with a lid. I always do put an oxygen absorber in any one of those options because that just helps the food to stay fresh for longer. So you can buy Mylar bags on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description box for the ones that we use. And they actually are pretty handy and super easy to work with. So Harvest Right does have, what last I have seen, they have 3 sizes of freeze dryer. They have a small, a medium, and a large. No. Our freeze dryer is a large freeze dryer. It has 5 trays that you can use at once. The medium has 4 trays and the small has 3 trays. So depending on your family size or how much food you think you might be freezing at one time, that would determine what size of machine you want to get. I'll leave a link in the description box that you can use to go to the Harvest Right website to check it out, to just look at all the options that they have. I do know from experience that the commercial freeze dryers and the home use freeze dryers are exactly the same, except for the commercials are stainless steel. So if you want stainless steel, you could go that way. If not, you can just choose one of the color options that they have available for the home use freeze dryers. Besides Harvest Right, I don't know of any other companies that sell home use freeze dryers. That is the only company that I have seen that sells them, and I know that they work well and they're popular. At one point we had 3 freeze dryers. We have only 1 now because we were starting a business and that did not go as planned, so we ended up selling those and getting rid of them. So we don't have those anymore, but we did keep 1 for personal use because that was what we originally bought it for, and it's super easy and simple to use. So much quicker prep work than canning food, and actually keeps a lot of the nutrients. You're interrupting. Mommy's talking to the camera. You need to wait a minute, okay? In a minute, just wait. Freeze drying actually keeps a lot more of the nutrients and nutrition in your food than the canning process does. So that's why I choose to freeze dry a lot of the food that we get out of the freezer. It's much faster for me and healthier options in the end. So that's all I have about our freeze dryer. I hope this was helpful for any of you that are wondering about a freeze dryer. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them down below. Don't forget to check out those links in the description box, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.